Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We have some really juicy information on looting and expanded selling updates and mechanics that are in Alpha 3.17, as well as tweaks and improvements to the medical system for that patch. Let's take a look at what Cloud Imperium have said and what we're going to get real soon with this new patch. Looting and selling updates. Looting is going to be a lot more valuable and worthwhile in Alpha 3.17, Cloud Imperium have said. Those bodies of enemies, boxes scattered around bunkers and wrecks, they can contain a variety of valuables, some of which you can only get by looting. Each location has loot tailored for that area as well, so it's much less generic. There are various rarities of gear, common, uncommon, and rare. Shops are getting a bit of a stock change, so that only common items are at shops, and the only way to get uncommon or rare items is to loot or to trade with another player. You'll find it in a particular zone that spawns that piece of gear or armor. So things like Hurston security armor or Ninetales armor, they're not going to be available at shops, but you will be able to find them on the bodies of the security forces and at certain areas that spawn that loot. Rare items will be pretty hard to find though, rare being extremely rare by the sounds of it. It is probably a percentage drop chance in loot boxes that spawn around certain areas, so it is worth looking around and delving deep. Alpha 3.17 adds a new shop UI that allows you to sell your FPS gear and lootables at shops that already sell those items. So shops will buy items within their sphere of or speciality. So if they sell FPS weapons, they will buy FPS weapons. The selling interface allows you to easily remove attachments from your gear when you sell it too. Maybe you forgot to take off the scope on your sniper rifle and bam, you can easily attach and unattach them or just leave them on there to sell. They are working on improving selling stacks of items, as both the selling UI and the inventory system can be quite fiddly with stacking at the moment. However, there is a quick sell button on each item to help you speed up that process. Don't press it by accident. There is no buyback button, at least not yet anyway. The economy and prices have been updated for 3.17, and prices that shops sort of buy items for, they are dynamically based on the shop's inventory. So a shop that buys FPS weapons will buy FPS weapons from you between 50% and 90% of their original value based on their current stock of that item. Now, if the shop doesn't normally sell that item, if it doesn't normally carry stock of that item, but it's an FPS shop that sells FPS gear, you can still sell them FPS gear that they don't normally sell themselves, but it will automatically default to 50% of its value. So they go, well, we don't normally sell this sort of item, but we know someone that might want to buy it, sort of thing. That said, rare items will have a lot more value to reflect their rarity, so bear that in mind. It might be worth selling that very rare gun or lootable, because yeah, it's just worth so much money. Even if you did want to keep it yourself, you'd be like, oh, well, actually, it's worth a huge amount. They said that Pico Balls would be the most valuable loot item in the verse, at least in the short term. Let's see if that's a joke or something that is actually going to be part of the 3.17 live build. Because even if stuff is being tested on the PTU, it may change heavily before it goes to live. So in going back to something earlier, they did say that they want, when players buy and sell items, they want that to affect the stock of a shop. So if you sell a load of stuff to a shop, that will increase their stock, that will make the item potentially cheaper to buy at that shop, and they are also less willing to buy more of those items. Now, that's sort of like the end goal, or a goal they're moving towards, much more dynamic pricing. This might make it into 3.17, might make it into 3.17 partially, but it might be something for a 3.17.x patch or a 3.18 patch. They didn't say it's 100% making it. They said it might make it, it might not. It appears you can sell directly from your character's inventory or the landing zone inventory that you are in, which is good. It didn't look like you could sell directly from your ship. However, things like this might change. It did also appear that it's not just FPS gear and lootables. They did show ship components and weapons also being sold in this way. Things do get tweaked in the PTU phases and EVOCATI phase, so sort of bear that in mind. Stuff may still change before the live build. Now, Cloud Imperium has said that they're going to be closely monitoring the metrics and feedback on what items are being bought and sold, and that's going to help balance the future of the system and the economy. So make sure you give feedback, make sure you play a lot of 3.17 and talk about it. Could this also mean that we are more likely to get a wipe in 3.17, a persistence wipe? Well, I think it is more likely now, after they talked about inventory in this in these terms, at least an inventory or loot wipe. It sounds to me like there's been a lot of changes to actual FPS gear, pricing, and the tracking for that, so that might necessitate a clear up and clean up being made for that from people's inventories. Cloud Imperium have not commented on that yet, but I thought I would let you know what my thinking was. What do you think? I don't think it's going to be a Alpha UEC wipe or a ship or a wipe, but an FPS gear and lootables wipe just seems a lot more likely now. We'll have to see what happens though, and we don't know for sure. Medical gameplay is also getting updates in Alpha 3.17. The current medical gameplay is pretty bare bones, and Cloud Imperium see it as a Tier 0 implementation, which means there's a lot more to come. In 3.17, we should see some updates. Bleeding is less severe, so you'll have more time to react to that status without you just falling over and dying. Instant deaths in FPS have apparently been removed for the most part, so you can't just get one shot by an item and then be dead. You'll be on the floor bleeding in most situations where you will otherwise just be dead. Now, if your ship explodes though, you're still just done. Boom. But having less in the form of you're just done respawn, and more sort of appropriate, you're on the floor bleeding out, that's going to allow for a lot more medical gameplay and a lot more people coming to do medical rescues, which is fantastic because that is gameplay that I want to do. Player status is being changed as well, so your health, injuries, food, water, all that sort of jazz, all those gauges will persist between sessions more appropriately. No longer will you get a crime rating for ramming your own corpse. That's not a euphemism, it's not a crime anymore, don't shame me. There is a bit more of a chance that you break limbs or get injuries while playing as well. So it appears to be a chance based on sort of hitting certain thresholds. So if you're jumping from over a certain height, then you're more likely to take sort of more injury damage, or if you get shot in certain places when it breaks a certain threshold, then it's much more likely that an injury will occur, but it's not just sort of random injuries occur as you're just running around. I'm interested to see how this plays out, because based on the percentages and severities of those injuries and how you get them, it might be really fantastic and awesome for the game, or it might be really annoying and fiddly. So this needs testing for sure. People give feedback. Beyond 3.17, they want body dragging to see improvements. You'll be able to get bodies around areas a lot more easily, up in elevators, things like that. There are also larger changes to death and respawn that they want to add. So that's sort of costs to spawning and dying and permadeath with Death of a Spaceman, and although it's not true permadeath, so bear that in mind. These will hopefully incentivize people to not just respawn immediately anytime they go down, is the idea, but that's a bit further out in the future. People can rescue you. There needs to be reasons to eject and go in your escape pods and run away and not want to fight anymore. Mortality is important. Your character's survival should affect how you play the game, and that's what Cloud Imperium want. But I'm interested to know on what you think of that. Are you a big old Star Citizen whale? Well, there's some news that might affect you. Starting on the 18th of March, so today at time of recording, a Star Citizen digital download will be added for free for anyone with a high Admiral reward pledge or above. Basically, that's backers that have spent at least $1,000 on their accounts. Also, if you've got Squadron 42 in your hangar and you're a high Admiral or more, before that distribution begins, you'll also receive a free Squadron 42 digital download. Now, why is that? Well, this is basically to stop the problem of someone with thousands of dollars of ships melting a package that had their last Persistent Universe or Star Citizen access token on, so their game package, and then losing access to the game. It happens more often than you might think. It's happened to a lot of my mates, and that then enables people to more readily melt ships and buy other ships and things like that. If you spend a load of money on the game, then Cloud Imperium want to make sure you've still got access to the game under any circumstance, so I think that's good. I would caution people not to melt packages that have physical rewards, though, if they have not received them, if you see what I mean, because I don't think you can buy that back. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, that's it for your Star Citizen update today. Alpha 3.17 gets ever closer. I'm hoping that we see first wave PTU for 3.17 very, very soon. It could be a few hours away. It might be a few days. and we'll have to wait and see. Are you excited for those new updates to medical gameplay in 3.17? I'm looking forward to potentially being able to do some more medical rescue gameplay personally, because me and Zin really enjoy that and we have not been able to do it in the way that we've wanted to yet. What about looting and selling? This could really improve my engagement with Star Citizen and give me sort of more rare loots and reasons to search around an area or strip bodies, and I'll play for hours while working up funds to buy more spaceships. Are you looking forward to all of this? Do you think that we could see a wipe in 3.17? I am less confident either way now. Personally, I don't really know where they're going to go with the wipe. If they're going to have one in 3.17, I would hope they don't, but we'll have to wait and see. If they need one, they need one. Whatever your thoughts, though, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I am French and sophisticated. I am also French and also sophisticated. Let us go on a date. Neither of these people are French or sophisticated. It was me doing a funny voice, as well as showing the horrors of dating online and what happens if you accidentally catfish yourself with 2 of your own accounts. But French people don't talk like that even. No one does. NordVPN can make you appear to be in France, but it doesn't make you French, as I've now found out. It can be used to improve security or give you more accessibility to the internet. I can watch all my favourite shows. Get yourself NordVPN today in the links below and maybe be a better version of yourself. Now that's shilling for you. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway, and March is no different. We have a Crusader Industries Mercury Star Runner. This multi-crew, multi-role, cargo and data running ship is my favourite ship in the game. It has loads of smuggling holes, it's got a good amount of armament, it can do a little bit of everything in the game at the moment. To be in for a chance of winning it, just comment on any of my videos made during March. More details in the description below. Please consider liking, subscribing, and potentially even clicking that join button under my videos to help further support the channel. Share the videos around with your friends and family. You'll occasionally get exclusive videos, posts, and polls that help influence the channel, along with emotes and badges to show your support. It really does help. There's also a Patreon and direct donations tool for those inclined. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great March 2022.